Hello, this is Mr. Kent of MrKent.com. And if the air there looks a little hazy, this was up in Washington State a few years back, and there was a lot of forest fires. And so you could hardly see the sun, and it was evening, and the sun was going down. But this was my Apprentice S, which was made by E-flite, and I got it from Horizon Hobby. Has a 5-foot wingspan, and there I am standing down there flying it. And my neighbor lady had 40 acres of farmland, which she allowed me to fly over. And it was a good neighborhood. All my neighbors were friendly. And there's her house. And you can see now, as I'm coming around, the plane is big enough that when it's far away, it still looks close with a 5-foot wingspan. So I came around and I was going to land. And you'll notice here that I almost hit that barn for the second time. So anyway, that was up in Washington State, and that's I flew on that field quite a bit, had that grass mowed there where I took off and landed. This here is me standing in about the same place, and I got my Phantom 1 and hooked my GoPro camera to the bottom of it, and put the I think it's 2200 milliamp batteries in it, and took off. And this was a section of that flight, and I've had this on shown it before on some of my videos. But anyway, so the reason that I'm looking at these videos is because these planes needed a LiPo battery that was purchased like at the hobby shop or something.
All right. This is the battery that comes out of the, or goes into the Apprentice S plane that I have. And it's made by E-flite. It's, let me see, 3200 milliamp hour, 3-cell battery, and costs over $50. So I had this. I think this is my second one. The first one finally got old and wouldn't charge too well, and so this is what I used with that. And you would go to the hobby store, or you could order it online, and pay $50+ for the battery for the Apprentice. Or you could also use it. You can use this battery for RC cars, RC boats. This is a pretty powerful little battery, and so it's very useful for a heavy plane with a 5-foot wingspan. Okay, so that's a nice battery, and you can see that it's built for being used with a balanced charger. All of these batteries that you buy at the hobby shop that you use with aircraft and so forth are made to be used with a balanced charger. So let me lay this over here. And I don't have a battery for the Phantom because I have gotten rid of that, but it was similar to the one I just showed you. The Phantom 1 came it came with a battery, I'm sure, because I got mine used. But it used the same type of battery for charging and so forth. So everybody uses balanced chargers in the field of RC flying and so forth, except that Phantom finally came out with a proprietary battery on their second or third time around. I think it's third time, but anyway, I haven't been keeping up with them. And when I got the Bebop, Bebop 2, a little over a year ago, it came with a proprietary battery. And that means that you have to buy a battery that is actually made to fit into the drone. And by the way, the Phantom 1 with a standard battery that came with it, which was I think a 2200 milliamp, you would get about 6 minutes of flying time. And then you could buy an accessory where you could hook up two batteries together, and strap them onto the side of it, and you could actually fly for 9 minutes or maybe a little bit more. But they have improved things a lot since then. That is, Phantom has. But this is the proprietary battery that comes with the Bebop 2. And the Bebop 2 battery charger is not a balanced charger. So if there's any mistakes, anybody that's mistaken on that, it's just a charger. And it feeds the cells, but inside each battery, let me move over here, inside each battery is this little circuit board. I got this out of the battery that broke to pieces when my when my Bebop fell out of the sky. Anyway, it has this little circuit board, and the battery itself carries this little circuit board, which is designed to keep the cell, the 3 cells in the battery, to keep them balanced. And it is sufficient to keep the cells balanced. But the battery does its own balancing, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that, and it's just not ideal. The reason being is when you have 3 cells and you're using the battery to determine when to turn off the charger, the problem that a lot of folks have is one of the cells goes bad and the battery doesn't know that. This little circuit board has no idea that one of the cells is bad. When it gets up to a charge of a total charge of 12.4 volts, it shuts down, and the battery knows what's wrong, but the charger doesn't. And so that's why it is not ideal. It's sufficient, and a lot of people fly their drones, their Bebops, without ever using anything else than the batteries, and they don't have any trouble. But then there's a lot of other people, like myself, who ended up with a flashing red light on the charger that said, I can't charge this battery anymore. Okay? And but the balancer is inside the battery and not inside the charger. So that's why, having used these batteries for years, I had, of course it's worn out by now, but I had a balanced charger. And a balanced charger gives you a readout and tells you what the voltage of each cell is, and it doesn't turn off until it notices that all of the cells are of equal value. So the balanced charger by itself determines whether the battery is charged. And you can watch it charge. I've got a video, I'll put a link to it. I got a video on how to use one of these, but it's by far the ideal method for charging a LiPo battery. And so this is by far the ideal way to get your battery charged. One thing that'll happen if you get a balanced charger and use it on your Bebop battery. This battery I got, I think, in last March or somewhere there along there of 2017. That would be almost a year ago. It still charges up and lasts just like a brand new battery. And I do a lot of flying, so the balanced charger will cause your batteries to last indefinitely. Eventually, they deteriorate, but they'll last much longer than if you used the charger that comes with your Bebop. And that's why this site is here, because a lot of people, I put up instructions, and it's still, I'll make a link to that, instructions on how to make the balancing cable that has to go from the Bebop battery to the charger. So now it looks just like a regular battery, and you can hook it up to a balanced charger. So that's why this site is here. What happened is people told me that they didn't have soldering equipment, they didn't have the skills. Would I please make cables and sell them for a price? And I turned them down for about a year. And then finally, after Christmas of 2017, I got several more requests, and I thought, okay, they're ruining their batteries, and so I'll make it worth my time, and I'll charge for these charging cables. I'll charge for the charging cables. and they're good quality. They're guaranteed. This plug you can get from Mosier Electronics, DigiKey. You can get it from Amazon. There's a lot of places to get it, but if you don't have the skills or the soldering stuff, well then you can get it on this site here. That's why this site is here. I'll never get rich. I'm not interested in that. I'm just making it possible for people who don't have the skills to use a balanced charger, make their batteries last a lot longer than if they use the charger that comes with the Bebop. But I would make my own if you can, because it's really cheaper. These here are about $4, $5, $6 a piece, and then you have to get this kind of stuff. You get this stuff over at this end of the cord at the hobby shop, and then just solder it all together. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and God bless you.